The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Welcome, everyone, to today's Mayors and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we'll be starting with Tim Sheefen in the town of West Bloomfield. Tim, what's going on there?
Thank you. Glad to be here. What is going on here in West Bloomfield? And I got a new catchphrase for you. What's the word in West Bloomfield?
Okay.
I'll try to bang through this because it's going to be long. I'm getting used to a number of things as supervisor. One of those things is our meeting agendas. And some people might think this is a pretty simple thing, but I take them for granted. And our meeting agenda kind of changes 3, 4, 5 times before the meeting, as my town clerk and I are going over items and add-ons and people that want to be included. And then while we're trying to sort out all the particular details of how we have to proceed because of the process and all the other legal stuff that we have to follow. So unfortunately, with our March town board meeting, our agenda item number 1 was supposed to be an introduction for our new town board member, Mrs. Christy Mulhern. And I overlooked that because I was eager to get right into the thick of things and announce a public hearing. And unfortunately, I kind of forgot all about Christy and announced a public hearing, which turned into a back and forth for a little while before Christy had an opportunity to tell us a little bit about herself and share some information with our community. So I wanted to make that official apology first and foremost, because the last thing I want to do is overlook a very vital, bright, wonderful person that has come and joined our town board. So hats off to Christy. She pointed out quite a bit of her abilities, and we saw her in action her first town board meeting, and she's brought quite a bit to the table, and she contributes quite a bit, and she's extremely resourceful, and she's going to fill this board seat fantastic for us. So with that apology out of the way, let's move on to the other items that I've put together here for us. So one of the things we got through this time on our town board was sorting out our town code office. It's been a long time since we've had a full-time code enforcement officer here in West Bloomfield, and we've relied on interim officers, part-time officers, contracted officers, and enough's enough. We need somebody in this spot. It's very vital. So we've got that. We got permission from our board to put it out to the county that we're looking for a full-time town board member. I got authorization from our board to cancel our current contract with a contracted code enforcement officer we have from an adjacent community. And I got the permission to reach out to the county to get some help from the county planning department with coverage from their code enforcement officers in our office for the interim. So we're on our way to solving that dilemma too. Another bright spot is we've had 4 people come forward and volunteer to be part of our planning and zoning boards. So with that, I'm pleased to announce we have moved Mr. Steve Brent, a current zoning board member, up to our chairperson position. We've decided to add a resident, Chris Beaver, to the zoning board. Chris is a great guy. He's got a terrific background in the military, and he works now for the Canandaigua VA. And he's like me, he's a problem solver. He's a guy that jumps into things, gets his hands dirty, rolls up his sleeves, and gets down to business. And after having a nice opportunity to interview him with the other members of our boards, I found Chris brings a wealth of information along with him. Very fascinating person, and I think he's going to be a tremendous asset for the other zoning board members. Moving on to the planning board, we found ourselves with 3 vacancies on the planning board. And again, we were able to move up Kurt Barnes. Kurt Barnes will become our new chairperson for the board. Kurt's got a lot of years of experience. He's lived in this community a long time, real bright fellow. I've known Kurt as a friend for a long time as well, so it's nice. And then we got three new members coming into the board. We have Mr. Todd Caffo. Todd's a resident. He's an engineer. He works currently with the DEC. And Todd's going to bring a fantastic skill set to the planning board. We're eager to see him do that. And the planning board members are also eager to have him participate along. Birgit Coffey might be a familiar name if you pay attention to politics around here. Birgit's a real smart gal and very highly educated. She's very analytical, a great speaker, brings all kinds of information and stuff to the process. So again, new part of our planning board. I think the planning board is going to be thrilled to death to have her as well. And then another local resident, Mark Kaiser, is going to join us on the planning board. He also is a local touch, and he interacts with the scouts over there in Honeoye Falls. And he lives right here on County Road 35. People know that is West Bloomfield Road over there in Mendon. So those three are going to join our planning board. So we finally, after years, have a full planning board, a full zoning board, proper chair people in place. We've got a full town board. We can really hit the ground running, and we can make some successful future benefits to our town now that we're somewhat complete. And we're really looking forward to filling that zoning office with a new code enforcement officer. So I'm excited about that. Some other things that are going on. This YouTube platform that we're part of is fantastic. It's a great way for me to get information out to our constituents before the meeting. And hopefully we'll find some feedback on that. The other thing that's new this year with my steering the helm is our public comment time. Public comment time can be a blessing and a curse, unfortunately. The blessing is we hear a lot from our constituents and our residents, and people come forth with ideas and comments, which I find very helpful. The curse, it adds quite a bit of time to the process. So our meetings are a little more arduous and a little longer than they used to be. My fellow board members and myself are finding that, kind of challenging. We'd like to get through the process a little quicker if we could, but I'm not one to rush. If it's right, it's going to be right. And if it takes long, that's just the way it goes. However, I think in April, we're going to limit some timing on the public comment time down to 3 minutes per person. We're going to ask people to step forward and speak, so maybe they get right to the point and they keep the minimal comments and questions that could wait till the end to just that, the end. We do have a public comment time at the end of the meeting, and we may minimize the back and forth. I like to answer questions and I like people to understand what's going on, but sometimes it devours up quite a bit of time. So while I do feel that their input is important and I am willing to consider their comments and their questions, we might minimize the back and forth between the board members because technically we're not obligated to provide that. I do that as a courtesy by design because that's the type of personality I am. I like to interact, I like to talk. If that's not obvious by my lengthy words on this segment. I gotta stand up and put in a plug for this business in the hamlet of Mendon that I'm near to and dear to. And the reason for that is my wife gave me some rhetoric for wearing an old Star Wars t-shirt on one of our previous broadcasts. So I'm adorning a Ice Scoop t-shirt today in honor of my wife, Kelly, who runs the coolest ice cream shop in Mendon. And with that, I've made my apologies. I've made my plugs, and I can't wait to see this air on the platform and get some feedback from my constituents. And I hope they know that I've only been on this job for 70 days, and there's been quite a few accomplishments provided by me, my direction, and the support I have from my town board and my town clerk, who works her tail off for this town, and she deserves quite a bit of appreciation as well. So with that, let's see what the rest of you guys got going on. Thank you.
All right, Tim. Thanks. And good thing that ice cream shop isn't the hottest place in town, or else it would be quite sticky. All right, John Cates couldn't be on live with us, but he did give the following. So for me to read, just a couple of notes regarding the new assessment values that everyone received in the town of Lima. The assessor is appointed or hired by the town board to do this task. Tammy is an experienced assessor and has been with the town for many years. If you have any questions regarding your individual property, please reach out to the assessor's office and schedule an appointment and come to the public information presentation that she has in the letters. The town budget sets the total tax levy for the town. The assessment only determines what portion of that levy an individual property pays. It's a math calculation. Currently, the levy is just under 1.4 M, whatever that is. I believe I don't have the numbers in front of, this is John speaking. John believes he doesn't have the numbers in front of him right now. That's divided by the total property valuation to get a dollar per thousand rate. So if you divide that same 1.4 by a larger total valuation, then the dollar per thousand goes down. So when it's said the tax rate goes down, this is the reference. Number 3, the town cannot keep the same tax rate and apply it to the new valuation to put a bunch of money in reserves. The state comptroller office would not allow that overtaxation. Yes, I see the irony in the state of New York talking about overtaxation. Number 4, does this mean I am saying that there is no possibility of a tax increase? Unfortunately, no. We have some budget issues that John has identified, especially on the A side of the town budget. John will be discussing this more in the near future. If there is any interest in a public information session on how to read the budget, John would be happy to do so. He thinks all taxpayers need to have the basic understanding of how to look and see where their taxes are going and to hold us all accountable. He hopes you find this helpful and informative, and if not, it's not meant to be anything more than that. That's John Cates, supervisor of the town of Lima. And since we're in Lima, let's go to John Skiptunis, mayor of the village of Lima. John, what do you have to report?
Greetings, Chris. Thanks for hosting us again, and hello to my local leaders and our local communities. Lima is full of excitement lately. We've got our village elections coming up next Wednesday, the day after St. Patrick's Day. That's the 18th. Polls will be open at Lima Town Hall from noon to 9. The village board has 3 open seats, 2 3-year seats, and 1 2-year seat. As small as Lima is in size, we have the biggest hearts. We've got 6 wonderful candidates that are willing to volunteer their time and dedication to our community and running for the board. And that's kind of unheard of. You know, it's hard to fill all these seats when you're just as small as we are. So we're grateful for them to come forward. So please get out and make the time to vote between noon and 9 next Wednesday afternoon at the town hall. The Village and Town Cleanup Days is coming up soon. That will be held on April 30th, which is a Thursday, May 1st and 2nd, which is Friday and Saturday from the hours of 8 to noon. It will be held at our standard location at the town garage on Dublin. Everyone is allowed 1 pickup truck full of their donations, whatever you want to say it. We will also have provided by the town an electronic recycle truck, so you can bring your TVs, computers, anything electronic that we can recycle accordingly. Those hours again are from 8 to noon on April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This year, there are no requirements for pre-registration. You can just show up on those hours. In years prior, we've had people come in to get a permit to present themselves and their trucks, and that is not necessary this year. The Be Well in Lima organization, which is a committee we've been running for about 2 years, mantra having 3 different pillars: eat better, stress less, and move more, is spearheading our America 250 celebration at our fireworks extravaganza. Those of you who know, the last several years, we've been hosting a great fireworks show at our Mark Tubbs Park. Usually starts around 6 o'clock with fireworks following at dusk. Lately, we've been bringing in food truck vendors, a variety of snacks, food, hot foods for dinner. We've had kids games with the old school three-legged races, sack races, balloon tosses, water gun wars, and this year we're hosting a father's daughter, mother's son glow-in-the-dark kickball tournament. So that will be happening in the dusk hours too. Something fun and new this year. We are also bringing in craft vendors this year, kind of like we did at our Eclipse event. We should have anywhere from 20 to 40 craft vendors. They're signing up as we speak. If you are an interested vendor and a crafty artisan, you can contact me directly through Facebook and or through my numbers that are on the village website. And the craft vendors can range from anything from homemade crafts to food products, etc. Even if you have a small business, if you'd like to display your business, we're also hosting small businesses as well. So, Tim, you had mentioned about your sporting your ice cream. Well, I've got my Zwaggles t-shirt on today because the American Legion veterans will be also cooking hot dogs along with our food vendors, and they are the best Zwaggle cookers I know. So come out and help support the veterans during our 250th event. The Be Well in Lima initiative, again, the 250th anniversary of our country, will be have been very active in creating additional events outside from the traditional events, which I always hosted with the help of some great volunteers. We're putting together a time capsule, which will be including newspaper clippings, yearbooks from the local high schools. We're trying to get the kids to sign the yearbooks and put messages in there. And we put out a survey monkey to the community to see what kind of time frame, 25 years, 50 years to bury. It might be a combination of both. So we can put them in different levels and open them up at the 25 or 50-year sequence. Kind of exciting. So we have a committee that's working on that. The committee will also be organizing a parade, which will start about 10 o'clock on the Saturday, the 4th. It'll be followed by a car cruise. The Daughters of the American Revolution will be putting on skits representing the decades of history as we've progressed over the 250 years. And then that's all on Saturday. So that's a busy, busy day. And we're actually having transportation from the Crossroads Church across the street with a bus coming to Mark Tubbs Park, where the event will be hosted. And then, of course, ending up with the great fireworks extravaganza, one of the last few standing small village fireworks displays in the county. We're very proud of it. There's going to be something new this year, so you're going to have to come to check it out yourself. What else we got? I think the last thing is on Sunday, we're having a potluck, a community potluck. So we'll have a big tent on the premises and with sit down tables, and we'll be encouraging people to bring a dish to pass. The flyers are in the process of being made. The schedule is in the process of being made. So more to come from Lima. We hope to see you there. Thanks for letting me share, guys.
All right. Thanks, John. Now it's over to Lee in the town of Rush. Lee, what's happening in Rush?
Good morning. Good morning. I ran on the campaign of communications, financial management, and competency. Because of that, I talked in terms of right-siding the town of Rush. And at last meeting, our town board meeting, there were unexpected controversies about where a pickleball court in the town will go. Residents signed petitions, and many came to plead for a new court to be located on town campus. I asked for a delay deciding the location of the court until we obtain an engineer study to map out evaluations of the town property. We're trying to complete the necessary applications to obtain flood insurance from FEMA. June of last year, the town hall flooded. We had at least a foot of water in the town first floor level. I'm looking to take the time to do all of the engineering work and the elevations that we need to make the changes to try and make sure that we are able to not have flooding in the town hall again. In doing so, I asked for the time to have the engineering. Of course, the board uh, voted me down, but I want the people of the town of Rush to know that I'm not against a pickleball court at the town hall. I just need to make sure that we have the space to do any of the work that we're going to need in order to mediate the flooding that the town of Rush has during all of our major storms. 3 times in the past 5 years, the town hall flooded. The town lost their insurance. We were able to get it back, but we were not able to get flood insurance. So I'm working to try to make sure that we can have FEMA give us the opportunity to give insurance. And at the opportunity of having that, then we could get an umbrella policy to cover the parts that FEMA will not cover. Last Saturday night, I went to the firemen's annual award benefit, and there were awards that awarded 2 of the firemen that had been firemen for 60 years or more. And it was so nice to see the dedication of the Rush Volunteer Fire Department and all of the volunteer firemen and medical preparedness people that were there, and to know the safety that we feel and that we're getting because of their services. I also spent time with the Rush Henrietta Rotary Club to get an understanding of the work that they're doing for the towns. We have been offered 2 park benches that the Roto members have worked with the School of Industry in building those benches, and we will be looking to place them someplace throughout the towns that's accepted by the people. I'm also still looking for a dog control officer, which I was given the okay this morning to have the control officer that had retired by April 1st, but will stay with us until we can get a new dog enforcement officer. We have just finished a transportation alternative project grant to improve the safety for pedestrians and bicyclists in the town of Rush. That grant, we applied for $1.7 million, and that will go a long way in helping with the flooding at the town hall. The work will be on the intersection Route 15A and 251. That will change also the traffic patterns in the town of Rush. That will make it safer for pedestrians and bicyclists to enjoy a beautiful Hamlet. We're also working, starting at the middle meeting of March, to start to review and finish up our R20 and R30 codes that were put on pause with the last administration. and I promised that we would start it up and get it finished. So hopefully, within the next few weeks, we will be able to finish that and get it all approved. But that's pretty much where we are. It hasn't been easy lately trying to make the changes that I told the people in the town of Rush that I would work to change. But anything worth having is hard. So I'll keep working. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Lee. Getting Rick and Lee mixed up. That's all right. Now it's over to Rick in Honeoye Falls. Rick, what's happening there?
Hey, Chris, thanks for having us on. It's great to be here as always. As mentioned prior, the village of Honeoye Falls is also beginning to look at and consider some of the America 250 celebrations. As stated last week, our thought is to tie into the Festival at the Falls celebration, which is normally in August, and we do plan to do that. More to follow, but we have met with a very reputable fireworks display company and are also planning to have fireworks display on the Friday night before the scheduled Festival at the Falls. So we're targeting August 14th for that. Planning is in the early stages and more to follow, but save that date. The village continues to be in budget mode and we've been working diligently on it. Because of this effort, we are very close to presenting the final budget to the public. Our budget workshop for Saturday, March 14th was canceled, and we will discuss the budget at our monthly village board meeting on Monday, March 16th. We expect to have a budget for public review by Wednesday, the 18th of March, and we also expect to have the public hearing for passage of the budget on April 7th, 2026 at 6 p.m. This will, of course, be legally posted. At this point in time, it does appear that we will have a 0% tax rate increase and we will fall within the tax cap. Our village annual meeting is going to be scheduled for Tuesday, April 7th at 6:30 p.m. At this meeting, all business resolutions and appointments will be made. The village is also forming a committee to develop a plan to apply for and obtain a New York Forward Award. This is a $4.5 million state awarded grant that also requires private investment that would create a $9 to $10 million total to support major community initiatives. It can be used for downtown revitalization, park projects, infrastructure upgrades, environmental impacts, historical impacts, and much more. We will be advertising very soon to set up a public meeting or two in an effort to get this discussion going. However, if you're interested in serving on this committee and live within the village of Honeoye Falls or own a business in Honeoye Falls and are interested in serving on this committee, you can reach out to me for more direct information or to express your interest. I can be reached at my email, mayor@villageofhoneoyefalls.gov, or via the village phone number at 585-624-1711. I'm at extension 104. Lastly, the village of Honeoye Falls has received its annual fiscal stress score from the New York State Comptroller's Office. The score is determined using a variety of financial indicators, including year-end balances, operating deficits, cash flow, and fixed costs. Once again, the village of Honeoye Falls has performed very well. A score of under 45 represents a positive result for fiscal stress. The village has received a score of 0, which is the best score possible. I applaud the village clerk and deputy clerk, as well as the whole village staff and board of trustees for the continual efforts to ensure the village remains financially strong and fiscally responsible. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate the opportunity. It's always great to see everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Rick. And now it's over to Joe. Joe in Mendon. What's moving in Mendon?
Hello, everybody. Nice to see everyone here. I've got some really great news. Over the course of the last couple months, we've spent a great deal of time researching and interviewing new payroll companies. I'm pleased to announce that this hard work's paid off. The town's hired a new payroll company. It's complete payroll. is the name of the company. They're going to save our town approximately $40,000 a year. I'm really proud of this work that we've done. A lot of people here in the town hall have pitched in and ended up with a really positive result. So hopefully we're going to have more projects like that where we find savings for the town and the taxpayer. Furthermore, technology and customer support that this payroll company offers will result in substantial labor savings as well. An example would be the push of a button with this new payroll company will help generate reports that normally take a full day's worth of work. So another great thing about changing over to complete payroll for us. They're headquartered in Perry. They're a local regional company. They're smaller. They support and provide payroll for many different towns, hundreds actually. And we did interview several companies and ended up with this particular company. And it's really going to benefit us here a great deal. So the other things going on, we've initiated some discussions regarding healthcare. This is a difficult one. I'm convinced after being here, the time I've been here, that our employees deserve better health care, and the town deserves to pay less for that health care. So it's a little pie in the sky, but we're working hard to achieve that end, and going to be looking at more and more healthcare companies and options. When in New York City, I was able to find out about some consortiums out there. The town is limited because of our number of employees as to joining particular consortiums. Most of them have a minimum of 100 employees, and we're not quite there. So I don't know exactly how far we'll be able to take this, but we are going to examine all the options. In the interest of improving workflow, continuity relative to managing town hall, I welcome our newest employee, Janet Way, as our new bookkeeper. Janet's a local resident, deeply invested in the community. She spent 2 decades as an office manager at one of our local businesses, one that we all know very well. And more recently, she's serving our community's youth at the Mendon Youth Center. She's already hit the ground running here at Town Hall with her new position, and we strongly believe she will be a long-term asset to our team here. So welcome, Janet. Really, really happy to have you aboard. I've instituted a new policy regarding interviews that we are following here and have been following. In each employment or procurement interview, where we're maybe looking for a new company like healthcare or payroll, I include several town employees, some of whom are subject matter experts or have more experience than I do at to bring more to the table to help us make good choices. The collaborative team approach helps us gather information to the best of our collective ability and use this information to better inform critical decisions. We use this team approach to hire our new payroll company, our bookkeeper, and to analyze our health insurance options. And that's an ongoing, continuing effort. This past Tuesday, we visited the Public Safety Building in downtown Rochester for a meeting with Sheriff Todd Baxter and Under Sheriff Corey Brown. I really appreciated this invitation. They reached out to us as a new supervisor, and we got to sit down with them and personally discuss issues pertaining to our community. We discussed the New York Protect Act, speeding in the town, and the motor vehicle accidents, and many other things that we were able to discuss. In April, we plan to meet with our local Zone B captain and our community engagement deputy to get a little bit more in depth about issues in our community and how we're hoping the Sheriff's Department will support us. So on Thursday, I met with representatives of the Blaze Soccer Group to discuss the proposed Semmel Road soccer field expansion. This could better accommodate the 700 to 800 Mendon and Honeoye Falls youth who participate in soccer, and really looking forward to It's a longer term project over the next year or two, but we're going to continue with that expansion as soccer becomes ever more popular, and we want to be able to provide opportunities for our children right here in Mendon. This week, I met with County and State Department of Transportation, along with our town engineer, MRB, to discuss the Stony Lonesome Road issue. As you all know, there's been a lot of accidents there over the years, and we are continuing to pursue the best possible solution to achieve a safer intersection. There's different options that we're looking at. Came up with a new possibility, but when you explore these things and you discuss it with especially engineers, a room full of engineers, you learn a lot. And so we'll be working towards resolving that issue and making that intersection a lot safer for people. We are going to involve the residents. I'm either going to put together a town hall type meeting for the residents of Stony Lonesome and the surrounding area, or maybe even do some door-to-door knocking just to talk with them about it. It hasn't been decided yet, but it's coming up. When I met last month with the Monroe County Supervisors group, I found out some interesting statistics about housing in our region. For instance, I don't know if you know this, but I think most people do, but median home prices are up about 80% over the past 6 years, which there's a lot of good and a lot of bad in that. The good is, hey, my house is worth a lot more than it used to be, but at the same time, I can't afford to move anywhere else because the house prices have increased so much. It's prohibiting our elderly from downsizing in place. You can't really lower your overhead with the market the way it is. In general, in Monroe County, the home inventory is way down. The sales prices are surging and the listings are way down. So there's a lot of competition for existing homes. And there's just in the lack of ability for lack of senior living facilities and other housing options for seniors and people that are looking to retire. It just doesn't exist. So I campaigned on this issue, and I intend to keep moving forward. The whole median housing issue and shortage of homes for middle class people and young families starting out, it just doesn't exist in the entire United States. It's a big problem. I want to concentrate on how I might be able to help that right here in Mendon and make things better in that area. So it's a big long-term project. There's a lot to learn about that, but I just wanted people to know that I am continuing to work on that because it does present a big problem for people right here in Mendon. I want to expand a bit more on the New York Association of Towns February training event I attended along with 2 members of our town board. At that event, we explored methods of better budgeting, evaluating solvency, enhancing infrastructure, supporting our seniors. We learned about public pensions, countless grant programs, the clean energy projects that would cost the town zero to invest in. I also took a class on comprehensive plan development. That training was enormously insightful, and I'm looking forward to future training on that subject as we consider our comprehensive plan. An example of that would be the town finance school is coming up later this spring, and I plan to attend, and hopefully along with 1 or 2 fellow board members, so we can take advantage of that education and learn more about this. I have learned there are many small town governments questioning their ability to keep their doors open. A lot of these small towns have tapped into the reserves, and it's in the long run, it's going to end up hurting them. Fortunately, we are not among that group, as our reserves are more than sufficient, and we will be watching them closely. Regarding an issue I mentioned a few weeks back, EV charging at the library, it looks like software solutions will not work. previously, back in December or November, there was a resolution in an agreement to enter into a contract with a company to update the software on the current EV chargers at the library. Turns out that that solution is not going to work. A myriad of reasons on that. The only choice we have really is to update the entire units, not the infrastructure part. The electric is plentiful and we have it there. That was covered in a previous grant. But we would have to replace the charging units themselves. And that price range is between $7,000 and $14,000 at this point. So the board is going to have to consider whether we want to go down that path and spend that money, or do we want to wait till fall when a grant, there will be some grants coming forward that we should be eligible for. And we're going to look into that when the time comes, unless it's determined that we really need to get those chargers up and working. So that's something for the community to chime in on. I'm all ears. Call town hall, email me. Let me know what you think about the EV chargers and if it's been providing a big problem for people in the town. Town's also been working on revamping sign regulations. I've mentioned this a couple times before. The regulations are intended to create a more attractive economic and business climate for Mendon and to enhance and protect the physical appearance of the community. We're working towards that end. A couple of our one board member and one employee here at Town Hall are working on cleaning up and improving the language in our regulation, and you'll be hearing more about that in the near future. The other thing I want to mention, I continue meeting and working together with the Village of Honeoye Falls and Mayor Rick, thank you, and Deputy Mayor Dan. I'm assured that the village is making a concerted effort to listen to us and to respond to the concerns of the town. I'm very confident in that. From what I've seen in my recent meetings with Rick, it's plainly evident. And I look forward to continuing this positive and productive working relationship. It's been fantastic so far, Rick, so I thank you for that. And Lee, this is for you. I heard you talking about the dog catcher situation. I can't make any promises, but I do want to look into what we have here in Mendon and see if there's any way that maybe we can work together on that. Again, no promises, but it's something worthy of a conversation between us. And I look forward to doing that. I've also discussed various projects with our buildings and ground staff, namely Kevin Youngay. He's put in our annual order of flowers for the hamlet. We're working hard to improve the look and appearance of the hamlet. And he's also working inside the library to make some ergonomic improvements for the workspace inside there for the people that work at the library. So thank you, Kevin, for that. Look for a date on recycling of electronic waste for our community. Coming up, I believe in April, we're going to schedule an easy way to properly, environmentally, and safely dispose of your e-waste. So take a look in your attics and your garages and see if you have stuff that you need to get rid of. And this will be a great way. It'll be a drive-up situation. Either at the highway department or at the community center, and the residents will be able to just drive through and drop off their e-waste and make it as easy as possible for everybody. And lastly, I want to recognize the Mendon Fire Department for their recent upgrades they've undertaken at the fire hall. They're installing a new building in the back, plus a new roof with solar panels, which will offset our utility cost or their utility cost, which ultimately affects the taxpayer. They're also upgrading more and better overnight boarding for their volunteers. And I don't mind saying they're still 100% volunteer, which is just fantastic. And we really, really appreciate the initiative and the team over at the Mendon Fire Hall. And they've shown an amazing effort in making these improvements. And in addition to the hard work they put in on an ongoing basis, they keep our residents and businesses safe. So thank you, Mendon Fire Department. And that's all I have.
All right. Thanks, Joe. And thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching too. Remember, this program airs every Sunday at 1 p.m. on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Like the page or subscribe to the channel, and those platforms will notify you when the broadcast begins. Otherwise, you can read about it. You could read the transcript in next week's paper. That's all for this week. We'll see everybody next week. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.